cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, intellectual disabilities, and more. Beyond the limits, changing perspectives, breaking barriers, and giving voice beyond disability.
That goes for everything that you're doing, okay? Just let's try to put safety first and be careful. Welcome to Beyond the Limits with Roland Stewart, who is here right now as we get into another program here on your Tuesday afternoon. It's Talk City.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good afternoon to everybody. I must commend you on playing that tune. You know, that's one of my favorite Merchants tune.
I was very careful to select the right song.
As Merchant said, you know, you also have to be very careful, especially in a society as we have now.
Correct.
You know, with the level of violence and that kind of thing.
And
you know,
uncertainty.
And uncertainty. I mean, I don't know if you would agree with me, but you know, you always consider, I don't know if I should, you know, say that, but to me, the Bob Marley or soca, if I would say.
Okay, you did
Would
mention
you
that
agree?
before, yeah.
Mhm.
I can see how it makes sense.
I often play Merchant
Sort of
and
prophetic.
every day. You have a
Yeah.
lot of tunes.
Yeah, I realize that
A
too.
lot of tunes like that, you know. And coming up hopefully Thursday, probably, you know, I might play a little more. Anyhow, I want to start by raising an issue I experienced this morning, price gouging. You know, well, just to give people...
Yeah, that doesn't end.
Yes, well, I mean, probably after the news, probably might give Bawani, we would give Bawani Pasada a call
Okay.
in honor of, you know, as I told you, Blindness Awareness Month.
Right.
So today's Tuesday.
Which is May?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, not only that, you know, I get to find out, well, you know, they have a day called Founders Day in honor of the person who first started fighting for blind people in Trinidad and Tobago. A man by the name of James Arles. Probably we'll hear a little more from Bawani Pasada as far as that is concerned. And then today also, too, is some day by the United Nations. We'll find out about that. Declared by the United, I think World Fairness Day or something like that. So we'll get to find out all about that when Bawani Pasad comes in, hopefully just after the news. But I was saying, you know, on my way to work, one of the guys in the bus decided to stop by a pet shop. Now, yesterday he passed by the pet shop, and it had to do with a
Yes.
pill, one of these pills for the dogs.
What kind of pill is that? For the ticks and the fleas?
I
I know those, yeah.
Like, you know, man, yeah, dogs are.
Yeah, I had a lot of canines, and I gave them that wafer. It's like a little sort of like a little chocolate. It's supposed to be like chocolate flavored or whatever flavor it is, but it's like a little treat. But it's really when they ingest it, all the ticks and the stuff, they just fall off. Yeah.
Well, I'm talking to a good man here, man.
Yeah, I know about that.
Talking to the real.
It's expensive, you know.
How expensive? I want to ask you.
Right. So, for example, I bought one was about $300.
$300.
And then I found out that they were available for less, about $200. You know, according to where you go. So you see, once again, there could be some price gouging going on there,
But that's what I'm saying.
right? From certain
This is what I'm saying, you know.
stores.
Because you were.
But it works, huh?
Yesterday.
It works for like months, even up to a year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very good, very good.
Yeah.
Because the reason why I'm saying that, because yesterday, the guy in the bus, he stopped. Well, not the driver, the other guy. He wanted one, so he stopped by, you know, and they were told that they were getting today.
Right.
And the price that he got yesterday, according to him, was $171
Okay.
for the pill.
Okay. All right. That's average. I think.
Reasonable based on what you were saying.
Yeah.
So when he passed back this morning now, 24 hours after,
Yeah.
he was told it's $300.
Yeah. You see the same thing. What? If I may, what happens is, you know, they will have, let's say, old stock, and you know maybe the price would be $175 or whatever, and then as you get the new stock, maybe they have to pay a little more for it, so they just throw it on the customer. So we have to pay the extra. That's what happens.
But you know, I don't know if it's still like that, because so much of things have changed in this country. I mean, long time you used to have consumer, you know, what do they call it? Price controls.
Right.
So sometimes when you go in, I don't know if things have fallen apart as far as
I don't know if anybody goes to consumer
government
affairs
supervision.
anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't, but you should.
But I mean, consumer affairs was for complaints.
No, I think
They were the ones who used to generate the price list too?
No. I can't say for sure, but I know that's where you go to with a complaint, right?
Complain, yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember the complaint that time when I went there many years ago.
Nothing.
And sincerely speaking, what a waste of time.
Wow. Well, that's what I was
And while I was
alluding to, yeah.
while I was there, I remember a guy came with a complaint. And after about 10 minutes, he was walking out and he was practically saying the exact same words. So I don't know sometimes. I mean, it all probably depends. I mean, I don't want to come down on the institution, but sometimes it all depends on whom you meet there and that kind of thing rather than the institution. But when I was there, I know about 2 people came while I was there.
Okay.
And they left very disappointed. Because sometimes, you don't want government putting up things and they just turn out to be white elephants.
Yeah.
Mentioning that, the disability unit comes to mind.
Okay.
I mean, there'll be another issue, probably another thing that we'll discuss about. I mean, we have the disability unit with the government, but I mean, what really is the purpose of the disability unit? What is the scope? How much has it done over the years? And all these kind of things. Probably, hopefully, probably try and contact somebody from the disability unit. Hope they might be willing to come.
Right. Or even on the phone.
At least, But back to the same, how they call it, that we're talking about, this pill.
Yeah.
As far as the dog and thing is concerned. As I said, we used to have priceless. There was some institution or entity the government had that used to post a place, and I remember a long time you used to see it on television, but pepper so and so,
yeah,
for whatever goods or everything might be. So it will guard the consumers against unnecessary pricing and that kind of thing. And when something you go into supermarkets, you go into stores, I'm not sure if it was mandatory, but sometimes you used to see the list.
Okay.
They'll have like in the back of the cashier and
yeah.
And I'm wondering, well, what has become of that?
Yeah, a lot has changed.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, it's supposed to, you are the freeing up of the market and all of that, globalization and all of that taking place.
The thing, true, what we do as trainees is we will complain, we'll sit down and we'll talk about it, we'll call the radio station, we'll complain, and then we go right out and just go and buy it, and we will support. So once we're supporting, then the whoever it is, they're just going to continue to supply and bust price on us, and we'll just pay and say, okay, thank you, and then complain while we're at the cashier and still buy it. I'll give you an example of that, sort of, right? But it has to do with quality. Okay, now I went to a supermarket. I will not call the name of the supermarket, right? And I went to the meat section. So I was looking for some poultry parts, like pieces of chicken, right, to cook. And I normally would go to the depot, but I couldn't make it to the depot. So I went to the supermarket. And then I was in there was a refrigerated section, of course, because you have to keep those meats refrigerated. And then I got this foul odor, no pun intended with the foul, right? Right by the chicken parts. And there was another shopper, right? And I'm putting my nose a little closer, and I'm smelling a bit. This smells off. And I turned to the shopper, it was a total stranger, and I said, is it just me, or are you smelling that odor coming from the chicken parts? And she was like, yeah, I smell it too. So I walked away, and when I turned around, she just took it up. She just took what she wanted and put it in her cart.
You serious?
After that sentence, it's like, are you brainwashed? Don't you realize, what you're doing? Right? So yeah.
No, but I agree with you 100% because
don't buy it.
We people, we have that kind of culture. You hear people saying things like, well, I can't eat the money. Like that kind of thing.
But also I hear people saying if you stand up for nothing, you fall for everything. So
I agree with you.
If in the States,
but we have a culture. I mean, to say I love my Trini people, yes, and I love my country, yes.
Yeah.
But then you have to be truthful. As a people, we not that kind of people. And if you're not that kind of people, I'm not saying that they are not the one or two who would stand up. But I mean, see, you call something in Woodford Square against that. When people were against price gouging or anything, so much people you see turn up.
Yeah, I know. We don't support what's necessary. And the thing is, in the States or in other countries, if the price raises just like that,
Ah,
nobody's going to buy
you're
it.
making
They
jokes.
just automatically know not to buy it. So they're not going to buy it. If one person goes in, that's it for the day, and eventually they're going to have to put the price right back to what it was.
Because do you remember there was
That's a good,
yeah.
approach to standing up for your rights as a consumer.
Because do you remember recently, probably about 2 years ago or so long, there was a popular fast food place that actually raised the prices.
Yeah, and people were still complaining.
And on top of
I'm
that,
still buying, right?
on top of that, wanted you to pay for the condiments.
Yeah, I
so the
remember that.
condiments were no longer free and all
Right,
that kind of thing,
right.
right? And people, big bro,
And they're still going and purchase it.
And after all of that,
We were real dotish, boy.
we were going and buying it. So,
Yeah, I know. I remember clearly.
yeah. So, okay, people, we're going to
Yes.
take a break for the news and we'll
Right.
come back right after this.
All right, thank you very much.
This is TTT News on Talk City 91.1
Good morning,
FM.
Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Vermala Balakaran. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago today. Let's take a look at what's trending this morning.
Every morning in Trinidad and Tobago, a new conversation begins. And right here, we take that conversation further, speaking with the stakeholders and voices behind the stories. From news and lifestyle to culture, health and entertainment, we bring you the topics that matter most as you start your day. Join us weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. Watch on TTT or join the conversation from anywhere on your smart device at TNT Today Show, Trinidad and Tobago Today, exclusively on TTT.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Vermala Balakaran. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago today. Let's take a look at what's trending this morning.
Every morning in Trinidad and Tobago, a new conversation begins. And right here, we take that conversation further, speaking with the stakeholders and voices behind the stories. From news and lifestyle to culture, health and entertainment, we bring you the topics that matter most as you start your day. Join us weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. Watch on TTT or join the conversation from anywhere on your smart device at TNT Today Show, Trinidad and Tobago Today, exclusively on TTT.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Ramala Balkaran. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago today. Let's take a look at what's trending this morning.
Every morning in Trinidad and Tobago, a new conversation begins. And right here, we take that conversation further, speaking with the stakeholders and voices behind the stories. From news and lifestyle to culture, health and entertainment, we bring you the topics that matter most as you start your day. Join us weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. Watch on TTT or join the conversation from anywhere on your smart device at TNT Today Show, Trinidad and Tobago Today, exclusively on TTT.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world.
Yes, Mr.
I'm
Bowani,
Ramala Balkaran.
You wanted to focus on the sporting aspect, but before we start on the sporting aspect of things, I just want to make mention and ask you, because you would be the person who more familiar with that. You could make people aware of the Founders Day and what it was about, seeing that it related to the blind people.
Not a problem. Even before that, I just want to express condolence on behalf of Fabi to the family of Kwame Allen, who was employee of the Ministry of Social Development up until recently. She passed away over the weekend, and we express our condolences to her family. Secondly, I want to express happy birthday greetings to Ms. Sharon Campbell, the first president of Fabi, and she's celebrating her birthday today.
Well, happy birthday to her too as well.
Getting into sports in a minute, I want to express condolence to the Kissoon family. Harilal Kissoon lost his son, Anil Kissoon, who was, I call him the photographer, videographer, when we did blind cricket activities, and he was very much an integral part of it. But he passed away, sadly, almost 2 weeks ago. So, now you want to hear about Founders Day. Founders Day, basically, is the day when work for the blind started in Trinidad and Tobago, long before your time, long before my time, in the year 1914 on May 18th. And we have traditionally called it Founders Day because it's like it's a start, but it was also work founded. Right? So that's the history behind that.
Yeah, but I think it's very significant to mention the person way back in.
Let's talk about the man who was responsible.
James Alls, right?
Yes, of course. James Augustus Alls was a Guyanese by birth. He lost his sight as a teenager. He went to England to receive both medical and other training opportunities, and then came back to the Caribbean. Was looking for a home. He traveled from Jamaica in the north to Guyana in the south, and you know how travel could have been tedious in those days. But he found favor here in Trinidad and Tobago with the government of the day, and they gave him the blessing to and the support to start work for the blind right here in Trinidad and Tobago. So it really started here, and it went to the other Caribbean countries as time went on. Today, as a mark of respect, every year in the Caribbean Council for the Blind and Visually Impaired, we have what we call the James Alls Award. Recognizing people for their various work and various services to the community, either persons who have worked with us over time, or persons who are blind and visually impaired who have made a significant contribution.
That's great.
His name still lives on, and the awards continue to flow.
Nice, because that's the next question I was coming to you with, because I think a man like him, he's plays such a significant role because, he come like the founder of everything, that at least his name should live on. So I'm glad to hear you say that. Now, going on to what you really want to talk about, you can take the stage because you want to focus on sports, etc., right? So,
Take the stage. All right, ready, people?
yes, people.
Let's go. All right, sports for the blind. As far as I know, it many, many years ago, most of us focused on what we call table sports. Things like dominoes, with raised dominoes, not like the sighted persons who play dominoes. We played a little different from the sighted persons. Cards. We play all fours, romy, everything, but we braille the cards. So there is some modification because we can now feel the writing on the card.
All right, all right.
Yeah. We've entered in the all fours competition and thing,
I wasn't even aware that it had braille cards.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Either import them or we braille them, we generate them locally.
All right, well, nice to hear that. Nice to hear that.
So if DPI or anybody wants to go at our first competition, we welcome that. All right. Well, moving on, with the advent of schools for the blind, we then had other sports introduced. We had normal track and field activities. We had swimming because we had a pool at the school in Santa Cruz, and we were thankful to the UK Women's Club who came and taught us swimming, and we had some swimming galas and stuff like that. So swimming was one of our big sports. Within recent times, we've come to know and love blind cricket. Cricket then, modified for blind and visually impaired persons to play. We have goalball, we have football, which I have not noticed myself. I've not been a witness to blind football, but that must have its own consequences therein. We're now talking about introducing chess to Trinidad and Tobago. We have blind table tennis. Of course, many of these games are modified to suit the players and their challenges. You understand? And then, as I said, we have people in powerlifting and that kind of stuff. So the sky is the limit. We have people doing rock climbing and all of that scenario. In amazement to many. We have people running the marathon. I'm sure you've had one or two guests on this program who said they went to New York Marathon and all of that. So, the sky is the limit. We're trying to level the playing field as far much as possible in terms of sports for the blind. And, sports have other benefits too. Physical benefits, exercise, and so on is very important. At school, we did physical education, or what we used to call PE in those days. So we were not left out of the loop of taking it because it is important, especially as you grow older. You could prevent things like diabetes, etc. With proper exercises, proper diets, etc. But sports has always been amongst us. Some of us have excelled, some of us have not excelled. I myself have not been, I play with the boys and thing. I play a little pet match and thing, but professionally, I did not play blind cricket professionally. I got in as an administrator and remain as an administrator. But there are those who played the game. We have teams that went to Pakistan, India, and the like, and then participated. We had persons. We have a regional tournament sometimes, and people get a chance to display what their skills, etc. So there are a lot of sporting activities in Barbados. Well, I have to say, give credit where credit is due. Barbados is the leader in sports for the blind because they introduced goalball to the region back in 2013. They were the first country that introduced blind cricket to the region when we had some Englishmen who came down to Barbados to train the people, the teachers and whoever. And in fact, there was an exhibition game in Barbados at one time within the blind cricketers. And simultaneously, there was a 4-day game in the Kensington Oval. And we had more people, curious people, attending the display game of blind cricket than we had on that day at the Kensington Oval watching two teams in action. to conventional teams. So, people, curiosity will always be with us. But we have always been very active in sports. Yeah. And then, in addition, we also have the Power Gen sport. Now, the Power Gen sport caters for children with all disabilities. That is normally held in March of April of each year.
Now, hold on, Bawani. I wanted to ask you a question. What would you attribute to Barbados being the leader? Because, it's a small nation and it just survives on tourism, as we all know. Trinidad and Tobago is a much bigger nation and has a lot more resources. What would you attribute? I know I'm asking you that, and I believe you know where I'm coming from. So what would you attribute to Barbados being the leading sporting nation, according to you, as far as blind people are concerned?
Well, I would not be leading, but being in the forefront of introducing different sporting activities.
Yes.
I think the size and the coming together of the people is a little more easier to manage than some of the other countries like Trinidad, Guyana, and Jamaica. Right? And then Barbados had a very close relationship with the English concept. They considered as Little England here in the Caribbean.
Yeah, you know that.
And as a result of that, many of our development tools came out of England. For example, in the early days when they introduced cricket, they had a ball with a bell inside. But that ball was so soft, a West Indian would take that ball apart in two tools. The ball will go somewhere else and the bell will go somewhere else. You understand? But England has been closely linked to Barbados. You find that it is easier to work with the Barbadians than it is for other countries. But everybody's falling in line now. Everybody's falling in line now. I never heard a wrestling game, a blind wrestling game, but I know people wrestling in the savannah in school. You understand? So, but all in all, sports is a good method of therapy, etc. And we've had these teams going out. In fact, we've had for the last 2 years a gold ball competition between Trinidad, Barbados, Guyana, and we at one time had a team from the United States. All of these competitions were held in Trinidad, because we do have one or two facilities that can accommodate goal ball, because goal ball needs flooring space, and it is supposed to play on a wood flooring than a concrete flooring, because you could damage yourself easier on a concrete flooring. Now let's talk a little bit about blind cricket, which I am most familiar with. Blind cricket, many of the rules of conventional cricket apply to blind cricket. The strip, the wicket is 22 yards long. The ball has beads in it. The bowling is on the arm. There is more communication between batsmen and bowlers. The umpires are not blind. They are fully sighted. And many of the penalty runs that occur in normal cricket also occur in blind cricket. Wide, no balls, etc. There are some advantages to the totally blind players, and the biggest advantage is that a B1, who is a totally blind person, cannot see anything, to each run he or she scores, that is doubles. So if I hit a ball on the leg side, and my runner, I don't run as a B1 person. If my runner runs, that is equivalent to 2 runs, right? A B1 can take a catch on the first bounce, right? And that is permitted. And to ensure that totally blind people remain part of the game, there is the rule of thumb which says that 40% of the overs must be bowled by B1 bowlers. Now, I keep mentioning B1, B2, and B3. Let me just explain these side classifications.
Please.
And I think most of the side classifications also go hand in hand with other sporting disciplines when they have Paralympics and stuff like that. The blind people are participating. It's your level of sight. B1s are totally blind. B2s are those who can see a little but not sufficient to handle themselves. unless you are at the good end of the spectrum, so to speak. And the beaches are the more independent ones who do a lot of the hard work when it comes to fielding, etc. But because you're able to hear the ball coming along sometimes, as a B1, you will do the barrier dive and all kind of. So you have to be an integral part of the game. You just can't say, well, it's my time to bat, and you go out there to bat. Mm-hmm. You have to field, you have to bowl, you have to throw, you have to do everything. You know. But there are site classifications which you must comply with in order to qualify for your grading.
Yeah, well, you see, when you mentioned in B1, B2, and B3, I'm glad that you mentioned that, because I was about to ask you, when it comes to fielding, you know, I mean, how do they go about the fielding part about it of the game? But I'm glad you mentioned. When you explain it, you mentioned
the B1 too close to the bat.
Yes, well,
especially when B3 is batting,
mm-hmm.
because he could see and he gonna hit the ball hard.
Yes.
So they put them more in the open.
So that explains it, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, they put them more in the open. So when the ball leaves the bat and they're focusing, the important thing is to stay focused. Forget about what's happening in the crowd. Forget about who's saying what about you. You have to focus on your game.
Right, yeah.
You understand? Even with other sports like dominoes and things, we don't, like sighted people, read the board, watch the board, and see who play what. And a lot of our energy comes from memory. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
You have to remember your partners or your opposition's strong points or weak points in order to play the game properly. In order if you want to win. You know? We have had domino competitions in the past. In fact, I was responsible during 1979 to 1984 to manage and produce 5 national domino competitions. You understand? And right now, every year, for Founders Day and around that period, the blind welfare, they have a domino competition, a bingo. So we play bingo and things too, you know, our bingo cards. I mean, it's just that it has braille in it, you know. But we do play bingo. We try to integrate our bingo with sighted persons bingo. Like, for example, if PDT is having a fundraising bingo for some reason, we want to be a part of it. Just allow us to play with our cards. You understand?
You know, listening to you, one thing I admire about the blind community is that you all try to make sure that you all are not left out of anything.
Right.
You know,
and we can't do is to drive a car. we might be able to drive the ladies mad or vice versa.
Well, they say, I'm not putting anything past you all. Huh? If I were to hear somebody say a blind person driving a car now, I mean, they say...
Well, now they are driverless cars and also no panic.
Yes, I saw that in a movie actually. It was Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder. I think it was See No Evil, Hear No Evil. And they were both in the car. Richard was driving, and Gene was telling him what to do. And it was crazy. But yes, they are autonomous vehicles. To answer your question, they're not. They're still in being tested. In other parts of the world. Eventually, we're gonna get there. Yes, maybe sooner than later.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine Roland call a car to bring him to talk to from over. Yeah. And he can't have no driver.
You telling me, you know, but...
He might be tempted to go in the driver. He might make the mistake, I want to go in the driver's seat.
Yeah, well, he could try to...
You know, but to be... Just as that thing is saying, I've seen, you know, where they have run 1 or 2 tests and that kind of thing. So, I mean, they already have them. But it's just like to put them out for the average Joe to buy them.
You ask yourself if they could handle which one is out of road.
Oh, God. That's another story. You know, so because I mentioned to Alex on many occasions, and I mentioned it in at least 2 or 3 occasions. On my way home, there's an overpass in Cookery there. There's a very rough patch of road there. On an evening when I'm going home, I had to hold on to my chair for dear life. Because, you know, the bus rocks. You swear like you're in the Bocas. So much potholes and whatever in that area there. You know what I mean? See? So there is something else, man. You know, there is something. Now, I'm aware that in June, the United Nations in 2024, July, passed a resolution. You will talk about that. in terms of, I think it's World Fairness
World
Day. Am I
Fairness
right?
Day.
And that's today.
World Fairness Game Day, yes.
All right, that's
Of course.
today. Right, you want to tell us some about
I
it?
only got the video, the presentation this morning, and I shared it with you. Because I think fair play, not fairness, fair play.
Right, Fair Play Day, yes.
So I only got it this morning. I listened to the intro, and I said, I have to share it with you because it's very important to know. We have to play fair, we have to play honest. You understand? If you know you hit the ball and you claim you didn't hit it, that is dishonesty. You understand?
You know, but apart from the blind community, I mean, that also extends to everybody.
Everybody.
Yeah, as far as World Fairness Day is concerned. And, you know, they are talking about it going beyond the sports, right? It has to do a lot with the sports and all the various sports, friendship and all of that, anti-doping initiatives and all of that, you know, in terms of trying to get rid of the doping aspect as much as possible, because all of that will have to do with fairness, right? Based on what I read and based on what I understand.
And they're very serious about things like doping and things, right? Because
well, I mean, they should be.
You could be punished as a average citizen. When it comes to sports and doping, you could be punished as a person with a disability, because some of us, admittedly and realistically, we do get enticed by some of these things.
Yes. And if you remember, it is so important, because if you remember, between Jamaica and Trini people here, the team, remember it cost Jamaica the gold medals in one of the relay. You remember that thing?
Right. So, you have to be careful with how you're singing. That's why when we go on tours, well, when I used to manage blind cricket and we go on tours, you have to actually read the riot act on the players.
Yeah.
Because some of them, influence, community influence and other things have an impact on some people's lives.
Yes, it can, because I was saying just now, the Jamaican team, when they won the gold medal in one of the relays, we end up getting it, I mean, much later because of COVID and all of that. It was end up given to the people, because one of the relay men, I can't remember the 4x4, the 4x1 or whatever, when they test him, he was found to be positive in terms of dope. So I mean, all that World Day Fairness thing will come into play. Hopefully we can eradicate all of that. So in terms of, you're the president of the Caribbean Council for the Blind and the Visually Impaired. I mean, how could you influence that kind of thing in terms of the World Fairness Day and in terms of sports for the blind people and all of that? I mean,
we could share the information with the national agencies and hopefully give them some tips on, on proper performance, good performance, etc. But they have to instill that within their players and their participants in any sporting event. We could, all as an umbrella body, we say we just have to share the information. Now, if we have a competition hosted by the Caribbean Council for the Blind, we will, of course, say, well, look, these are our terms and conditions of play, etc., etc. But we could only guide and advise the national agents to do what is right. They have to enforce it.
Understand. No, Buwani, in the Olympics, is there any disability sports? I'm not aware. So I'm asking you now.
Basically in Paralympics, yes, but not in the normal. I think one or two people, international people, have tried to be part of both the para and the normal Olympics.
Yeah.
But what I like about the Olympics is that following the conventional Olympics, the para-athletes get a chance to use the same facilities that was created for conventional Olympics.
Oh, all right.
So that means if they're constructing a new stadium, etc., they have to take into consideration the Paralympics, which follow the normal Olympics. Unlike the situation where we have in Trinidad, where I know some of you have to go in some basement to come out to watch the game or whatever, which is unfair.
Mm-hmm.
You know. But when they're building these new stadiums, especially for Olympics and Commonwealth Games, etc., they must ensure that it is compliant for all. You know,
Which
we
is
still have a
very
lot of facilities that are not compliant for all in Trinidad. You know, you might have a big drain somewhere about the place and stuff like that. But there certainly could be a lot of work. I don't know if you remember the days when we used to use St. Anthony's College grounds, and we had sports for the disabled and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we had it with some limitations, some restrictions because of the ground. You know, but we could learn from some of the things that are happening internationally. We could have standard codes for setting up grounds, etc., so that people wouldn't have to injure themselves unnecessarily. So it's a lot to be done. We have made some headway, but we still have a long way to go.
Yeah, but don't you think that probably in terms of a lot, as you said, there's a lot that still needs to be done. But the interest groups, don't you think that they should be pressing more in terms of the Ministry of Sports, that kind of thing, to really bring about some of these things? In
Well,
terms
what I
of
would like to see happen is that the interest groups, in the same way you have, let's use track and field, right? The Paralympic team, or whatever you call it, what can you used to call it long time? Pioneers Club.
Yeah.
Right? That should be an affiliate of the NCAs or the TTOA or whatever. You understand? So that when you have an event, everybody is catered for. Right? I am trying to see if blind cricket can merge with conventional cricket. You know, the same thing with chess. We don't have to operate in a separate silo. We have to work together with the national agencies and get support from them to take our process forward.
Yeah. Because I spoke.
And then what it gives to them is that, look, if I, as a quote-unquote normal person, becomes disabled after a while, I can still play the game with some modification.
Yes.
So this is why collaborative effort between the conventional sporting bodies and the specialized sporting bodies must be developed and maintained.
Yes, I agree. Because I interviewed him, I think, if I remember good. But at least I spoke to him. I think the current person is who. What is the person's name?
What are you talking about? Paralympics?
Yes.
Yeah.
They just had an election sometime, probably about 2 months.
I think that they have now realized that they have to work together.
Well, great. You see,
You know?
because we need that synergy between all the bodies in order to make an impact in terms of the Ministry of Sports, etc. To make sure, because I know in terms of the elite program, because I know that the Ministry of at least under the last regime?
There is an elite program, eh?
Right. Well, this is what I'm now about to ask you.
Right, but as far as I hear, or I've heard, that the treatment given to the quote-unquote normal sporting individual is not offered to the special. Let's take this guy from Tobago. What's his name again? Stewart.
Yeah, yes. Akeem Stewart, yeah.
Akeem is an excellent performer.
Yes.
But I don't think, unless things have changed, that he's getting the same kind of reward that the ordinary track and field performer will get in terms of money for training, etc. And remember, it costs us more to train than it costs the average individual. They could run on the road or run on a piece of a plot or something, but you have to make sure that road is safe for you. You have to make sure the plot is safe and all of that. So we, as persons with disabilities, we have to put out a lot more to accomplish some of the same things that our able-bodied counterparts accomplish.
Yeah, because what they're saying, I had a conversation. I was talking to somebody some time ago, and I was saying, sometimes when you look at it, it's the same effort, to the people in the powers that be. It may seem to them that the so-called, well, I shouldn't say so-called, but the top-tiered able-bodied people in the world of sports, that they are putting out, probably the best then. But what I'm saying is, in terms of comparison, the same way how they are putting out their best to achieve the best, to be the world best, it's the same thing, the same level of effort. It's just that on a different level, because remember, this other person was born or ends up injured or whatever the case might be. But in terms of the effort and the mental ability and all of that, the developing of the mind, it's the same kind of effort that they're putting in to achieve on what will be on their level at the world best. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand. I was just going to make this point, that any person with a disability wants to work towards, he has to go twice as hard.
Thank you very much.
And to convince people that he can or he is able to do it.
Yes, and this is what I was trying to actually get at. It was when talking about elite program, right?
The same 200,000 you will give to Richards. The same 200,000 you will give Roland Stewart.
Yes.
For his track and field endeavors.
Yeah, because within his level, he is an elite athlete,
Right.
Yeah, there's never say. In his Paralympics, he is. That's the reason why he is there at the World Games or whatever in terms of Paralympics, because at the Paralympics level, he is an athlete, elite athlete, and
let me give you another scenario. And this is not sport, but this is something else.
Yeah.
There was many years ago a competition called the Cultural Pageant, and a blind man. He, by all reports, he should have won that competition because of his performance and all that. You know why he didn't win? Because the prize was a car. And how a blind man going to drive a car?
Oh, God.
You understand? So when you look at these scenarios, instead the person may have a family member, a wife, or somebody who could drive him out. You just tell yourself, well, he can't get a car because he's blind.
Oh,
so
sad. Yeah, well, thank you very much.
So many people would have experienced different kinds of challenges when it comes to taking up such opportunities.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for chatting with us, Bowani. We have come to the end of our program. And as usual, we look forward to you participating again sometime in the near future. All right, Bowani? Yeah, thanks for chatting with us once again.
Have a wonderful day, Mr. Prasad. Always a pleasure chatting with you and hearing from you.
Yeah, and to all our listeners, until tomorrow, this is Roland Stewart signing off, man.
Thank you very much, Roland. Enjoy the rest of your day and stay tuned. Coming up at 3 o'clock, the flagship right here on Talk City.
Hi everyone, we're Floors WD and we're excited to welcome you to our brand new location at Val Park Plaza on the opposite side of the road. We specialize in SBC vinyl flooring, moldings and luxury